Alright guys, welcome back. It is now 9:30 p.m. New York time, and a little quick video here post Australian employment news. And now before I recorded the video just before the news came out, and we saw that they were expecting a similar employment rate of 5.8%, and they were expecting just under 10,000 jobs created. So what the actual number was, if you go to Forex Live here, and I'm sorry this cuts the screen off a little bit to the left here, but the actual number came out at plus 13,500. And the unemployment rate actually ticked down by 0.1%. Now, that of course it was a good headline news, and it was a good beat on the headline news. However, when you dig into the numbers a little bit more, and this story is on forexlive.com, and really, guys, this is one of the places you should go. This is basically a live blog. They update it constantly throughout the day, and a lot of the stuff on here I don't look at, but this is where you can really, these guys dig down into the meat of these reports like as soon as they come out, and it's really very cool. So if you look at this, again, the unemployment rate was 5.7, but if you read this right here, is that the part-time, there was a substantial decrease in full-time employment, minus 44, almost 45,000 jobs. After 11,000 last time. Part-time employment went up significantly, and the participation rate actually dropped. So this is the percent of the population that can work, that is working, that dropped slightly to 64.6 against the 64.7. And so the Bank of Australia was not too thrilled with this number. And I think, although employment's a lagging indicator, and maybe eventually this will catch up, I think it feeds into what I was saying on the first video, that the strength of the Australian economy, as reflected in the charts, is probably not really reality of what's on the ground. And so again, on the surface it was positive, but if you dig down, it's not great. And so the guy that wrote this blog, you can see some of his comments here. I've been asked in the comment for the key takeaway: yes, we have employment growth, but it's too slow. This has been the case for over a year, and it continues. The RBA will not be comfortable with this labor market data. There is still strong evidence of too much slack for their liking. The RBA is on hold for now, but they will not be overly happy with the labor data. So again, guys, that points to the RBA, Royal Bank of Australia, being still a little dovish on their economy despite some of their recent numbers, and that they could so the longer term fundamentals mean that they could consider another rate cut, or at least staying on hold. So that's a quick analysis of this, and you should definitely go and check this out. It's very straightforward and understandable. So just going over the charts for a second. I did get into a couple of trades prior to the news coming out. I took a long on the Euro Aussie. From this point, you can see the entry line here. I have a stop pretty far down here. I probably will adjust it now that the news is out. And so I'm cautious on these. I am going to adjust my stop. I wanted to give it a little bit of berth on the when the news first came out, in case it was a spike, especially since the headline news was good. That didn't happen on this pair. So I am currently long that, and I'm also short Aussie Swiss. From this point, you can see, and I'm also short the Aussie dollar. From this point, you can see there was a little spike on this one when the news came out. This is the hourly chart, and so this was 2 hours ago, and so we'll see. Now, I am a little cautious on these because When I look at the CCI on the Aussie dollar, this shape right here is suggestive of just a correction, and suggesting that this may turn around and go back up again. So as I said in the first video, I wasn't really overly thrilled with how these patterns looked. The Aussie Swiss kind of the same way, although it's not as clear. But again, you have the CCI spread apart going down, and Aussie dollar, excuse me, Euro Aussie. Let's see if I can get a better reading on this thing. Yeah, this one's not really clear either. We do have the CCI going up compressed here on the 30-minute chart. So we'll see. Like I said, I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to move my stop to just maybe just below these lows now that the news is out. And if indeed this is really just a little dead cat bounce and then we end up continuing down during London tomorrow, then so be it. But I think the more that the market kind of takes a look at those numbers and realizes that, yeah, they're okay, but they're not great. And you know, if there's any discussion about the RBA considering those numbers not good, which they probably will not, and maybe even considering a rate hike, another rate cut at some point, that should you know, dampen the Aussie a little bit, even if it's only temporary. So I'm going to hold those positions for now, and we'll see what it looks like tomorrow. But just want to make that follow-up video. You know, again, based on the pattern, it looked like the Aussie was going to be weakened, and certainly when the news came out, it was a mixed bag. But as you dig into those numbers, it does appear to be not favorable to the Aussie. So we'll see. You know, I have a feeling overnight it's probably not going to really do too much. We'll see when London opens tomorrow, when the volatility picks back up, what London thinks of these of those numbers. But it's kind of quiet right now, so that's not totally unusual. You know, when you get a mixed bag like that, but we'll see what happens. I would not be surprised if the Aussie march up continues, at which point I may get stopped out of these. But the way it looks right now, I think that there will be some upward momentum to the Euro Aussie and downward pressure on the Aussie. So, all right, so that's it, guys. We'll check it out tomorrow. But if you got into a trade, good luck to you either way, and I hope you make some pips, and we'll talk to everybody soon. We do have tomorrow night, just taking a quick look at Forex Factory. We have USD building permits, Philly Fed manufacturing index, unemployment claims. Honestly, these are red level. I don't really think they do too much. This unemployment claims number really doesn't do anything. We'll see about these. I'm not really too enamored with a lot of these US dollar figures, but we'll see. I actually won't be around to trade these tomorrow, so I'm really just going to ignore them. But late tomorrow afternoon, we do have retail sales for the Kiwi, and that's going to be important. That's a big number for the Kiwi, and they are expecting an increase. The Kiwi has been strong as of late, so we'll see how that comes out. But that's probably the next big one up for the week. All right, so again, guys, that's it. Have a great night, and we'll talk to you all soon.